Rise and shine. What does that make you think of?
An alarm clock, wake up, get up.
I kind of picture a rooster crowing. But it also makes me think of the Lord said to Noah, there's gonna be a floody, floody. Lord said to Noah, there's gonna be a floody, floody.
Yeah.
Rise and shine and give God the glory, glory. Which also makes me think of there is a storm coming.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of the storm, people.
Yeah.
It's time to take a look at what your options are. But we are going to talk about one of the most impressive acronyms I've run across, and that is something the government's good for.
Yeah.
Which should scare you because you know they're paying
verbiage.
people just to come up with these things. The Rise and Shine Act. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about some of the things I do like about it and some of the things that scare me about it.
And how it affects retirement planning.
But it all affects retirement.
Yeah.
So I'm Mark McKay.
And I'm Marcy McKay.
And welcome to Sage Smart Solutions. Please like and subscribe and join us weekly as we talk about new and exciting ways to protect your assets and retire tax-free. Okay, let's take a look at this. The
Rise and Shine Act.
The Rise and Shine Act. This is part of the Secure Act 2.0, which is they'll come up with the other part of it next. You know, you got to have a certain amount of bureaucracy or they're just not comfortable. You got your Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. That will be followed up by the Senate Finance Committee next month, or before July 4th. They're going to come out with its own bill that will be part of the Secure Act 2.0.
Rise and Shine Act. What does that stand for? What's the long acronym?
So RISE, Retirement Improvement and Savings Enhancement. So that's RISE.
Rise.
To supplement healthy investments for the nest egg. Supplement healthy investments nest egg.
It works. It's long, but
So how are you saving in retirement? Well, I'm supplementing my healthy investments for the nest egg. Okay. You know, and there are some aspects to this that are good, and I'm glad that they're worried about it. They realize that you know the pandemic really exposed a lot of kinks in the system that go and Google the scariest retirement statistics. And the irony of it is one of the best ones on there is from Dave Ramsey, and he's got a top 10 list of the scariest retirement statistics, but he doesn't point out the fact that his way of doing things, you know, the put money into these mutual funds and matching contributing up to the match on your 401k and that sort of thing is why we're in this retirement crisis in this country. The number of people that are just planning on living on Social Security alone is terrifying.
Yeah.
And if anyway, I don't want to go down that road too much. But the Rise and Shine Act has to do with access to 401ks. They make it a little bit easier for employers to. They actually offer tax credits. They don't just make it easier. They make it more attractive for employers to offer expanded 401ks and retirement accounts. They took the 401k, which was designed to be kind of an executive benefit plan for people to carve out, for benefits for key employees,
and made it
they took the onus off of the employer. You used to get a pension,
right?
And now unless you work for the city or the state, you don't get a pension.
Yeah.
But the employer said, oh, we can put all the burden on the employee who, wage growth has been abysmal for the past 10 years. So, people, especially when you compare it to inflation in this country, especially right now, it's going to snowball this retirement crisis. But go Google scary retirement statistics and look at that Dave Ramsey article. But keep in mind that his way of doing things is right there with
the scariest of the scary
with the problems. So, but the main thing I don't like about the 401k, I like the forced savings aspect to it, or the systematic,
right.
But I just think it does not make sense to defer taxes at this point.
Well, it's kicking the can down the road, and when have taxes ever been cheaper?
Taxes are the lowest they've been in quite some time, which is why you should not defer them. So, I mean, if you look at the debt and the deficit in this country, and the way Washington is spending money for the past 10 years, look at the rate of the deficit and the debt. Do you really think taxes are going to go down 5, 7, 10 years from now? We know they're going to go up as some of these tax cuts expire. They were designed to expire. They were literally kicking the can down the road and saying, you know what, we'll let the next guy deal with it.
Right.
And so you have these massive tax cuts that will expire.
Right. Well, it seems like Washington is more concerned about getting reelected than really dealing with any of the problems in the country.
That's because the problem with that the debt and the deficit. It's
yeah.
Where do you cut?
The problem.
Well, but pain is going to be involved with solving the problem,
right?
And nobody wants, if
nobody wants to run on reelection.
You cannot get reelected if you raise taxes,
right,
on the elderly.
Yeah,
it won't work. So, the debt in this country is a ticking tax time bomb. But just look at where taxes are now,
right,
where they were 20 years ago. It's a good time to especially during this bear market. If you don't like the bear market, convert. Look at converting your 401k to a Roth IRA or your traditional IRA, because the values are down now, and that's kind of an obvious suggestion, but it actually dawned on me in the shower. I was like, you know what? I need to bang that drum a little bit that there are some silver linings to the market going down 27%.
Well, it seems like the talking heads make it sound like there are really only two options. To save money, you have to do a 401k, and to make money, it's the stock market. Like those are the only two games in town.
Or an IRA. And they,
right.
and they do espouse the Roth IRA, which I do like. I mean, if you can get tax-free, do it. But there are limitations to how much you can put in there. There you still run into the 4% rule problem.
Yeah.
If you've got this big bucket of money and it's in something that's going like this,
right,
and over time really only makes 7 or 8% before fees and taxes, there won't be taxes if you got the part that's in the Roth IRA. It doesn't work well for providing income that you can count on, income that lets you sleep at night. So the one aspect to the Rise and Shine Act, which once again is the Retirement Improvement and Savings Enhancement to supplement healthy investment for the nest egg. Ooh, I said that well.
You did. So what do you like about it?
They've got an emergency savings vehicle, and it's nothing big, but it allows your employer. I think they actually can. I didn't quite understand whether the employer would also be contributing to that part,
right? Like matching or something.
Which I think they probably will, but it allows you to have part of, the whole salary deferral savings vehicle. We saw it with the pandemic. A lot of people had to access the retirement accounts, which
absolutely.
That's one nice thing about the Secure Act is it took away some of the penalties in certain circumstances. But we just saw how fragile the retirement system is when
absolutely.
So quickly people had to go in and tap into their IRA or their 401k or take hardship withdrawals. But this will have an emergency savings bucket. Now the money won't come in pre-tax.
Right.
So you're going to pay taxes on money that you're not actually getting.
Yeah.
But you'll have it there, and you will be able to go into. I don't know. They didn't clarify what you put it into.
Yeah.
I don't know if.
So what are safer?
But it allows you to. It allows you to have some money, for emergencies without having to go and take the penalties and pay the taxes on the money inside the 401k and the traditional IRA.
So what are safer, smarter options for retirement planning?
I think the one thing that if you look at the retirement crisis in this country, when you see that the average person has $43,000 in their retirement accounts, that's money that has never had taxes paid on it for the most part. There's a small portion in Roth IRAs, and there are a few people who have gamed the system and have, 7-figure Roth IRAs. but it shows the importance of, what we like to call tax diversification. We talk about diversification in financial planning, investment, retirement planning, usually in regards to, I want 30% in this bucket or this asset, this growth mutual funds or whatever it may be, and bond funds or cash equivalents or real estate or, whatever it may be. But what I think is just as important is that you have tax diversification in retirement, so that when you're 70 and you need some money and you've got something that's come up and you want to go spend time with the people who are important in your life and the market's down and taxes are up, you have options.
Right.
We can design a plan for you, and it doesn't have to be all or none. We've got some strategies that work great if you're at 70 and you need $10,000 and you pull $5,000 from our Sage method that is tax-free and not subject to stock market volatility, and then you go and you probably have to pull out $7,000 from your 401k, it'll probably be an IRA at that point to get the $5,000. But that at least gives you options. Whereas if you just pulled it out all in the tax deferred accounts, you'd probably have to pull out over $13,000 to get that same $10,000 in your pocket. So
absolutely. So educate yourself. We have a wonderful masterclass that is informative.
40 minutes.
40 minutes.
You will think, oh, that's interesting.
Protect your assets and retire tax-free. I know.
Check it out. It's worth it.
We're going to sweat.
Hey, nothing wrong with protecting your ass, people. Have a great week.